Hey there, welcome back to YogiWOD. I'm Debbie Steingesser here at San Francisco CrossFit, and pigeon pose is a pose that comes up a lot in CrossFit gyms and also in yoga studios, and it's probably done incorrectly most of the time, and people start to feel it in their knees or they start to overstretch their hips. And if you do this pose correctly and you don't feel hip or knee pain, it's actually a great way to open up your hips for your squat, or also just release them if you did some sort of crazy metcon with a lot of running or rowing at the end. So it can be, if it's a little more engaged, it can be a pre-workout stretch. If it's a little more passive, it can be a post-workout stretch. So it's kind of like garlic, it's multi-purpose. So you're gonna set, here's what you're gonna do. You're just start in the pre-workout. You're gonna work out first, and you can come through downward facing dog for a couple of breaths, and then send your right shin forward with your back toes tucked under. So to start, keep the legs engaged and actually lift the hips up. A lot of people, when they come into pigeon, they just sink in and they lose that tension. So it's sort of like if you go to the bottom of your squat and you let everything fall apart. It's the same thing that can happen in pigeon. So you're gonna actually keep everything engaged. Pull that front hip back a little bit, keep the back toes tucked under, shoulders back, and then with everything engaged, you can slowly lower that back knee down, untuck the toes. If this hip is way off the ground, you can take an ab mat or a stack of ab mats underneath the hip, and then just stay upright. If you would like to go a little deeper, you can catch the back foot if that's like somewhere in your vocabulary of movement, and then you can get a little bit more in the quad stretch and also in the external rotation of the front hip. So that's kind of more upright pre-workout. I wouldn't fold into it if you're doing it before a workout. If you're doing it after a workout, you can take it a little more passive. So same thing, you can send the front shin forward, keep the foot active, whether it's passive or pre-workout. Back toes tucked under, same setup, but this time you can actually sink in just a little bit deeper. And then if you can fold forward. I like to have a block right underneath the forehead just to catch it. If you don't have a block or an ab mat is great. You can just one potato, two potato your fist and stack your head in your hands here. And just take, I like to take at least 10 breaths when you're holding the shape passively. You can even hold it for as long as a minute or two. So again, if you're doing any squatting, great. If you're doing any running, rowing, stuff like that, pre or post, active or passive, choose your own adventure with pigeon pose. Namaste, bitches.